Hey there, this is Steve from Rockstar Eater coming to you with another rockin' episode. And thanks for joining me once again, everybody. And today I'm out here in Studio City, which is one of the most popular neighborhoods in Los Angeles. It is definitely a very expensive place to live at, and there's a lot of great foods to eat at as well. Some people consider Studio City to be like the Beverly Hills of the San Fernando Valley. So it's really quite a sight if you are in the northern part of Los Angeles County. And you know, I had so much fun with my Chinatown tour the other day that why not just do it again? Just continue to explore the city and to take you guys on the journey with me as I show you some of the best places to watch and to see, as well as to eat all around specific areas in Los Angeles. So that's what I'm doing here in Studio City today. I'm going to be showing you some of the best places to visit in this area, as well as, of course, the best restaurants you need to eat at in this city. So you cannot miss out on that. So whether you live close to Studio City or perhaps you're planning to travel to Los Angeles in the future, at least now you're going to know what this area looks like to see if, you know, this is a place you'd want to visit or not, as well as some of the best places to eat at in this city. So of course, stay tuned to the end of this episode so that you can see the best Studio City virtual tour or walking tour. And also, please subscribe to this channel, because that's the best way to get these food episodes on a weekly basis, and you don't want to miss out on that. So smash the subscribe button, watch on, and have a great time. So the tour today is going to begin here on Tohunga Avenue, which is near Moore Park. And of course, all the action is on Ventura Boulevard, which is a little bit more south of me. But I decided to begin here because this is kind of like a little hidden gem in Studio City. And there's actually quite a number of nice stores down this street for about a block if you were to walk from Moore Park and go just a little bit south. So I want to show you guys this little block so that you can see one of the most charming areas of Studio City. Okay guys, so I'm walking south on Tohunga right now, and we are approaching already one of the most popular cafes in the neighborhood, called Aroma Cappuccino Cafe. So this is a place you definitely need to go to if you want to check out a cafe hotspot in town. Excuse me. Oh wow, it's like so crowded. Yeah, so you're going to notice that when you walk down the street, there's a lot of like cute little stores, like clothing stores and salons and some restaurants and like drink shops and all that stuff. Let's see. Yeah, there's like even a theater right over here. Okay, and then you got Coyote Pizza Cafe, which I've been to. They have some really awesome California style pizza, so I would recommend this spot if you want to eat some pizza in town. Ooh, yeah, and this spot's pretty good too, the Gelato Bar and Espresso Cafe. They got really, really good gelatos here. So if you want some dessert, maybe after eating a nice meal around this area, then you should definitely hit up this spot right over here. So the other side is more or less the same, you know, like restaurants and bookstores, clothing stores, all that good stuff. Well, today is a holiday, so that's why it's kind of like free parking on the street. And there's quite a lot of people out here today. I didn't think there was going to be so many people just wandering around here. Well, then again, it is Friday, so there is quite a lot of people walking around and eating out and things like that. Yes, even in the midst of quarantine, there's still a lot of people just hanging out outside. Okay, what is this? Okay, then there's also this Creation Organic, which makes a lot of like smoothies and healthy drinks. One of the things that you're going to notice about Los Angeles is that there's a lot of these kind of stores that make these like organic fruit juices, you know, things that are like really healthy for you. It's really hot, especially here in Southern California, a very popular item. Okay, well, Uba Tuba, if you guys want acai bowls, which are must-try items in Los Angeles, you definitely need to come to Uba Tuba, specializing in acai bowls, basically. Yeah, that's a good place. And this is new. This opened I think just like less than a year ago or something. Yep, and then we reached the end of the block. And another quick mention, Henry's Tacos, they specialize in tacos. This has been here like forever, for decades. So if you want some good cheap eats, then these are some pretty decent tacos to eat at on the street. And now I'm gonna be going on Ventura Boulevard. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be starting from the east. So I'm gonna be beginning in the east direction, which is gonna be on Vineland Avenue. I'm gonna go all the way down to like Coldwater, which is kind of like where Studio City ends. So I think that's kind of the best way to show you what's all the good stuff that's in between on this popular street. Oh, brother. See some people jaywalking, that's no good. So what I'm gonna do is probably go down just a little bit more and then I'll stop and then I can show you around one of the coolest spots that you can see in Studio City. So on Ventura, it's like scattered restaurants and auto stores and clothing stores, antique shops, cafes, things like that. But then when we get up there, a little bit past Tohunga, I'm going to stop and then kind of show you around just some of the cool places that you can eat at in the area. I'm going to be walking down west on Ventura Boulevard, so I stopped kind of around Carpenter Avenue and I'll show you some of the restaurants that just line up these streets for the next 2 blocks, and this is where like all the action is at in terms of like the best and most expensive restaurants in the area. Okay, so it's kind of a fairly nice day. It's a little bit on the hot side. It's not as hot as it could possibly be, but it's definitely not a cold day. Ooh, here's a good one, Lala's Argentine Grill. This restaurant has Argentinian food. They specialize in Argentinian steaks called entraña, which is really some of the best you'll find in LA. So this is a restaurant I definitely recommend. You know, in fact, if you were to go into this shopping center, there's another great restaurant that I would recommend. This one called Asanebo, which specializes in sushi. One of the top sushi restaurants in LA, probably the best one in Studio City right here. Serves really great high quality sushi here, so this is a place you need to go to for sushi. It is very expensive, but if you're willing to pay, it's going to be an awesome time. Let's get out of the parking lot and see what else is around. Just gonna walk down the street, and then what I'm eventually gonna do is to go across the street and to show you all that other stuff that's like right across the street, so you're not gonna miss any of that. Okay, so when you cross the street on Radford Avenue, you're gonna get to this intersection, which is part of this really big mall structure. Yeah, so they have like everything here, from Trader Joe's to even like this Sephora. I don't know what that is, some sort of beauty shop, I guess. And there are 2 really great hot spots that I would recommend here. One is called the Blue Bottle, which serves some of the best coffee that you'll have here in this area. So you definitely need to hit up Blue Bottle if you are in this area. And then Mendocino Farms. There's a lot of these locations around LA. They specialize in like sandwiches and salads, which are really awesome. It's considered a cheap eat, although it's not extremely cheap, but it is definitely affordable. So if you want some really great summer foods to eat that's really healthy and delicious, then you definitely need to go to Mendocino Farms. So as you can see, more or less the same thing, you know, a lot of restaurants. Pepe's New York Pizza, it's been here for a long time. They make great New York style pizza, so that's a place you definitely need to go to. Teru Sushi, I've never been here before, but I don't think it's really that great of a sushi restaurant, but it's not bad either, so you kind of take your pick. One of the things you'll notice about Ventura is that there's a lot of sushi restaurants in this area. Like the sushi restaurant craze started about like 10-15 years ago, and yeah, it's still kind of going on, but Ventura Boulevard is known so much for their sushi restaurants. And then there's Laurel Tavern right there. which is a gastropub American restaurant that's really great for burgers. So you definitely need to come here for some nice burgers. Oh wow, look at all this outdoor seating. That's incredible. Yikes, in this parking lot. Man. Let's see. So now we're at two different, let's see, here's another sushi restaurant right here. Kiwami Sushi, which is owned by the Katsuya Group. This is a very upscale sushi restaurant. It's pretty good. I would recommend it. I like it a little bit better than the regular Katsuya restaurants. All right, guys, so before I get into my car and head off, I met some pretty cool, interesting people right here. Yeah, some of the lovely people eating out in Studio City today. So
yes.
You want to give a shout out to Rockstar Eater?
Yes, he's awesome. Subscribe, follow him. I'm excited to find out some new restaurants around.
All right, awesome. Woo! Continuing on in the Studio City tour, I'm driving west on Ventura Boulevard, and this is Laurel Canyon, one of the biggest streets in this area. So once I get past this street, I'm going to make a stop on the sidewalk and kind of show you more about this area, because there's a lot of shops to the left and to the right that is definitely worth checking out. So if you look behind me on Ventura Boulevard and you look the other direction, you're going to notice that this is a street that's been featured on a lot of movies and TV shows out there, like actors driving on this stretch of Studio City. That's why I wanted to walk down the street and to show you guys a little bit of the things that you can see around here, and especially the good restaurants. So this is a shopping center that has a lot of famous stuff like Jamba Juice, California Pizza Kitchen, although I'm not really too sure if you were to come here that I would recommend anything here that's really special. Oh, interesting, I did a Rockstar Eater here at Green Apple. This is like one of my earliest episodes. I feel like it was such a long time ago. All right, moving on. Let's see what else is on this street that's pretty cool. So if you see on your left this really, really huge building that kind of looks like a Russian palace, that has a dim sum restaurant, a Chinese restaurant called Shanghai Rose, which is one of very few dim sum restaurants in the San Fernando Valley. And it's actually pretty good. I mean, it's not like the best dim sum, but for dim sum that tastes pretty solid, it's actually going to be very satisfying. I actually liked it a lot. And on we continue with our drive down Ventura Boulevard. Ooh, Flavor of India, that's a really good restaurant. So I would recommend that if you want Indian food around this area. Yeah, there's actually quite a, let's see, oh, Granville, yep, that's another good one. And Lemonade, that's also another great restaurant. Yeah, so it just kind of depends on what you're in the mood for. So in just a little bit, I'm going to be pulling over to show you some things that you could see around this area that I think is worth seeing. This is facing the eastward direction, so this is where I was driving from. Decided to make a stop, and I'm going to be going eastward to show you some of the things that's on the street. Now the other side, there's really not that much to see on that other side that's really as worth mentioning. So what I think I'm going to do is just focus on this side of the street to show you some of the things that are worth seeing on Ventura, on this side of the street. Well, first of all, like I mentioned, Jerry's Famous Deli. This has been here for many, many years. They specialize in like a lot of great American food, such as like their pastrami sandwiches. So that's definitely an area you should go to if you want some deli food. Okay. This right here is a bowling alley, Pins Bowling Alley. Yeah, this is a place that's been here for a long, long, long time. I used to come here all the time when I was a kid to play arcades and to bowl occasionally. I don't think it's open right now because of this whole COVID shutdown, but it will, hopefully someday soon. And then if you look to your left, this is a restaurant called Carney's. They specialize in hamburgers and hot dogs. This is one of the oldest restaurants in Studio City, probably the oldest maybe. It's made out of these two different, let's see, railroad cars. Yeah, so they're not in use right now. They converted this into a restaurant. and a lot of customers have come here ever since. All right guys, so we're almost done because we are getting to Coldwater Canyon, which means that after this, Studio City is just going to stretch on for about one more block, and then that's pretty much it. But then there are some other things that I could show you on this one specific block. So here you'll notice that there's a restaurant called Iroha Sushi of Tokyo. This is one of the oldest sushi restaurants in Studio City. You know, it's not one of my personal favorites, but people love it, so I just thought I'd mention that. And then next to it, there's this like really cool gift store that sells all these like Japanese antiques. This is one of the most interesting things that you'll find in Studio City. They have like pottery and kimonos in there owned by this woman, this Japanese woman who's like really old and has been here like since forever in the US. I really recommend that if you are walking down the street, whether or not you're eating at that sushi restaurant, that you definitely need to check out this gift store. It's really quite something. Now there are a few different things that you can check out if you are in this area. First of all, Suzy Cakes makes really awesome American desserts. If you've never been to this place, you definitely need to try it. It's great. It's one of my favorite bakeries in LA. And then Il Tremazzino, I've been here before. This place is okay. It's actually very popular here in Studio City, so this is actually another one of the must-try places, I guess. Okay, and then in this shopping center that's very small, you'll see a Pressed Juicery right over there. That specializes in really healthy drinks. I like it. It's a little bit expensive, but you know, every once in a while, I guess it's good. But then again, what good healthy stuff is not expensive? It's always going to be expensive. All right, so there you have it, guys. That is the tour of Studio City. So you were able to see all the commercial areas as well as even some of the residential areas as well. That's what life is like. I mean, it's not too glamorous and spectacular, but then at the same time, there are some interesting things to see around town. And especially if you are a foodie and you are into restaurants, at least now you know some of the best places that you need to eat at in Studio City. Well, anyways, that wraps it for this edition of Rockstar Eater. And if you enjoy what I'm doing here on this channel, then please give me a thumbs up because that always makes me so happy. And also comment on the section below if you've been to Studio City, if you tried any of these restaurants before, or maybe perhaps you would like to recommend a restaurant that all of us should try that I didn't mention in this episode. And then finally, please subscribe to Rockstar Eater. That's really the best way to support my channel so that you can get these awesome food and lifestyle videos on a weekly basis from Steve Cha, Rockstar Eater. So just go down to the bottom of the screen, hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, and you'll be getting these episodes on a weekly basis. And also be sure, guys, to check out my other videos that I have. Really rockin'. I have some other walking tours around Los Angeles too. So go on the screen, click the video so that you can go on the next episode, and I will see you in the next video. So have a great day, and I will see you soon.